Wide receiver has been a hot button topic for the San Francisco 49ers, and obviously Brandon Ayuk and all the trade rumors, all that good stuff, of course. But it is still kind of the tail end of free agency. There are still plenty of quality players still out there on the free agent market. And of course, we are going to hear rumors of potential players that the 49ers could be tied to. And we did find out today, apparently, reportedly, I should say, the 49ers are tied to a wide receiver, and that wide receiver's name is Tyler Boyd. Tyler Boyd is actually a pretty freaking good wide receiver who has just been buried on the depth chart with the Cincinnati Bengals for some time now. But let's get into the report, shall we? And like where this information is coming from. We'll talk a little bit about Tyler Boyd and what he brings to the table, and even if this would be a good fit for the San Francisco 49ers moving forward. So, this is the report here. This is from Mark Cobley, senior Steelers writer for The Athletic. And he was doing a mailbag question, and the question came up about the Steelers' interest in Tyler Boyd. So this guy has zero ties to the 49ers. He writes for The Athletic, very credible source. I have The Athletic up there as one of the most credible sources. So if anything comes out of someone from The Athletic, I tend to believe what they have to say. So, but of course, we take everything with a grain of salt. And so this is where this report is stemming from. It says basically in regards to the interest that the Steelers have in Tyler Boyd, he goes on to say, I would say that it would be a long shot at best that the two sides come together. From what I've been told, so he's being told this, Boyd was extremely interested in Pittsburgh at the beginning of the free agency process, but the offer wasn't something he was comfortable with. Boyd has at least had preliminary interest with the Chiefs, Chargers, Dolphins, Lions, and the San Francisco 49ers. I am pretty sure the ship with the Steelers has sailed. So, Tyler Boyd is currently a free agent wide receiver. He's still hanging out there and can be had. Let's go over some of Tyler Boyd's resume, and then we will talk about is he even a fit for the San Francisco 49ers? Does this make sense? And why would the 49ers be showing preliminary interest in Tyler Boyd if they plan to keep Debo Samuel, Jawan Jennings, and Brandon Ayuk? Well, let's take a look at what he has done recently with the Cincinnati Bengals. Just last year, he had 67 receptions for 667 yards, 2 touchdowns, averaging 10 yards per reception. The receptions, 67 receptions, has him tied for 44th in the league. I mean, 67 receptions as the third wide receiver with other guys in front of him, like T. Higgins, like Jamar Chase. And again, remember, Joe Burrow didn't play all that much last year due to the injury. So that was with Browning at quarterback as well. So when you look at what Tyler Boyd brings to the table, he's a former second round draft pick, number 55 overall out of Pittsburgh in 2016. He was actually slated to be a really, really good wide receiver in this league, a quality, maybe like a high end wide receiver, too. I don't think he ever had the traits to be a pure number one. But you're talking wide receiver two, absolutely. This dude is really good. In his rookie season, he had 54 receptions for 600 yards. He dealt with injuries in year two and only had 22 receptions for 225 yards. Kind of fell off a little bit. But then he was able to bounce back in the next 2 years, putting up back-to-back 1,000-yard receiving years. In 2018, had 7 touchdowns. 2019 had 5 touchdowns. And then, as we know, the Cincinnati Bengals just kept adding wide receivers. They draft T. Higgins, and then they draft Jamar Chase. Tyler Boyd finds himself as the third wide receiver, but even in the last 4 years, puts up 841 yards in 2020, 828 yards in 2021, 762 yards in 2022 and 667 in 2023. So even as a third option, he still gets a lot. He's a production guy. He has 6,000 yards in the NFL with 31 touchdowns. You talk about production. And again, he's a little bit underrated. He doesn't get the hype. He's a third wide receiver on this team, but he's really good. So we've set the baseline. This is a guy that I liked coming out of Pitt. I followed throughout his career, and he's a quality player. Even at the age of 29, he could definitely come in and help the San Francisco 49ers. But in what capacity? Obviously, we're hearing that the 49ers have preliminary interests, which means they've shown signs, whether they've reached out to the agent, maybe to talk numbers, maybe to gauge if the interest would be reciprocated. But trying to think of how this would fit when you're thinking of going into the season with Debo Samuel, with Jawan Jennings, and with Brandon Ayuk. Obviously, we know after that it's a little thin. We know that players have left. You look at Ray McLeod, he's with Atlanta, and Danny Gray hasn't proven to be someone that we can rely on all that much just yet. They did bring back Conley, so you have that veteran presence in the room, but Tyler Boyd would definitely be an upgrade, in my opinion, over Conley and could be a very serviceable wide receiver. Now, would he want to come in here to be wide receiver 4? I don't think I think him and Jawan Jennings would definitely split snaps. Jawan's too good to keep off the field, and he already has a hard time finding the field as it is. But also, Tyler Boyd is still a quality wide receiver who deserves to be on the field, he's a 50 60 catch a year type guy. So you don't want that guy sitting on the bench. So could this just be the 49ers checking in? Could this be the 49ers also understanding that, hey, Jawan Jennings is potentially might not be resigned after next year. Maybe he could walk in free agency. Maybe you want to get a year ahead of that. Could this be anything relating to Brandon Ayuk potentially? I'm not really sure, but it is interesting that the 49ers have been reportedly uh, reaching out to Tyler Boyd in his camp in regards to preliminary interest, which again um, is sounds like just a conversation gauging potential interest from both sides and what it would take. It sounds like the Steelers offered him and he wasn't trying to have it. So I don't know if he would sign with the 49ers. I don't know if the 49ers would sign him. But again, just interesting to see that the 49ers have been poking around a wide receiver who is a quality, I would say quality wide receiver too. He's just been stuck in wide receiver 3 land. Would he come to the 49ers to be wide receiver 3.5? I don't know about that, but hey, just something to keep an eye on as this process continues, as the 49ers continue to kind of round out the roster ahead of the NFL draft. Let me know what you guys think of this. Should they try to sign Tyler Boyd? What do you make of this preliminary interest? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.